What's up, everybody? Guy with the meter here. Happy Easter. It's about the best I got right there. Got my Easter gab on. Got back from eating like a pig at the in-laws' house, and it's a good time. It's great. Unfortunately, my mother's not feeling well right now, so she had to stay home, but, you know, there'll be plenty of food left over for her, so that's what goes right there. So, hey Robin, hey Kyle, hey Glenn, hey John. Wow, you guys got me on your tag. That's awesome. Let's see, who the heck else joined up? That was quick. Alright, well, that's about it for them right there. So, again, everybody, happy Easter. I hope you ate enough to understand why you shouldn't eat so much, and everything went good and peaceful with the family. So, that's what it's all about right there. So, getting with family, getting with friends. Got more friends that are family and family that's friends, so it's all mixed together. What's up, Joey? Robert, what you doing, brother? Jose, how you doing, my friend? RP Patel, my goodness, all the whole place is freaking hopping up. This is great. So I'll stall for a little bit longer so we get some more people in here and see what's going on with it. Today, we're going to talk about some shows coming up like we normally do. I'm going to try to keep it short because I know a lot of you. What's up, Humberto? Julio, how you doing, buddy? Lucas, what's up? I'm going to try to keep it short. I usually do, and it still ends up going for freaking ever. Mr. Polo Garcia, G-Body, what's up? Dave. I understand it's a holiday. We're all fat, dumb, and happy right now. Try to keep it quick, but, you know, my quick, your quick, everybody's quick's a little bit different here. So, the main thing I care about is that right there. That's made of steel. That's coming up. That's coming up quick. And I know a lot of people are building up for it, and a lot of people are getting ready for it. The shows that are coming up before that, I can talk about the shows for a bit, because that's, you know, passive talk to begin with. I've got my big Virgin Islands show this weekend. Greenhorn and I are going there with Dean and Russell from Mecca, and we got the invite. And for anybody who didn't catch on last time, we got the invite. I was flabbergasted. That is awesome. That is great news. I know, unfortunately, talking about on here isn't going to do all that much because I don't see really any of you all packing up your audio equipment to ship it over to an island. Mr. Finch, to take it and see what's going to do when you can do it here stateside. But that's a major stepping stone for ACCL. We're still small in the sense of, I know I've been around for a long time, but to be invited to a show that's overseas like that, I know it's still stateside, but it's kind of under overseas, and that was a really good, that just felt good, like it's an accomplishment kind of thing. So give me 1 second. Hold on, I forgot something. There we go. Had to get my earpiece in. I figure it's a lot cleaner and a lot clearer with the earpiece in. So, ta-da! So, talk about the Virgin Islands show. Going to be leaving early Friday morning. Flying there, getting there Friday, obviously. Saturday, Sunday, we're doing a 2-day event, and then coming back Monday. After getting back from Monday, I'm going to be getting ready. Nikki and I believe Brennan said he was going to it too. The Bring the Noise show. That is, what is it? May 3rd. No. Yeah, there it is. May 3rd is the Bring the Noise show. That show is an excellent show. It's on the east coast of Florida. You can see a lot of people over there I don't see that often. So that's always great, you know, just hanging out with great people and just having a great time. Then, like I talked about before, Made of Steel. Made of Steel, this show is projected to be, every year it grows. I've done it from the beginning, and I geek out and I keep a tally sheet, and I can see that every year it grows. Last year in my lanes, we had 100 entries, and I believe that we actually ended up turning people down towards the end. I'm not 100% sure on that. I could be wrong. Correct me on it if I am. But what's up, Anthony? We every year have grown and have grown and have grown. I know with, was it Slimology, I believe it was canceled out this year. So I know a lot of people are looking for a show to come to. If you're looking, or if you got, know people looking, people on your team are looking, or whatever, Made of Steel is the big one to come to. We've got the entire Hernando County Fairgrounds, in which, even though it's a little country bumpkin place, they're actually, from what I've heard, I haven't verified myself, but it makes sense, they're actually, maybe the layout is bigger, or the overall is bigger, or what have you, than the Hillsborough County Fairgrounds where they were before. So that's a good thing. I know a while back I walked the grounds with John Kent, and there actually is a lot more places that they're going to make. They're getting more in order, and they understand there's going to be a lot of people this time. There's a lot of vendors, there's a lot of cars, and they're getting it in better order this time to be less disorganized, and learning from the past, learning from the past, learning from the past. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're supposed to do from everything, all the way from your builds to housework, whatever. You learn from your past. You learn, this didn't work last time, let's build off that. And that's how you do it. And this year I'm expected to be a lot bigger and a lot seems smoother running, just the same. ACCL is going to be there. I'm actually going to be bringing all the co-judges this time, because I want to be able to give Nikki a break, and Brendan a break, and Chris a break, and doing everything we can so that we can all have fun and enjoy the shows and not work as hard at them. Because I gotta admit, I am bad about that, about working and living bejeebers out of a show, and then the next day just paying for it beyond belief, and then saying, well, damn, I've been to that show for the past 11 years and I've never been to the show. So, we're going to try to make it so that all the co-judges and myself, and I call them co-judges, all the judges and myself are going to be able to go and enjoy the shows and take turns and stop out. At Slam for Swain, Nikki, that was the first time that Nikki actually ran the meter, and she did great. She did awesome. She caught on at the snap. There was one fluke that she felt really bad about, and I can't even remember for 2 bits of the life of me what it was. But even after, as long as I've been running the meter, I do the same thing. So if that's the case, that's awesome. That means she could take over the meter, and I'll walk around and eat hot dogs and give demos and all that good stuff. So, but either way. So it's what we try to do, is we try to work with each other and try to get things going, and that's great. So that's going. So I'm not going to ramble on about that too much. I'm going to try to quit rambling on about stuff in general, because I know these things go on forever. And I look at my watch and it's like, oh shit, I've been on for 65 minutes. I ramble on. I get like that, and I'm sorry. If you want, come back later on. Fast forward through the parts where I'm rambling on like this, and then hit to the hot spots. Or if there aren't any hot spots, whatever. Tell friends, do whatever we gotta do to get some more people involved in this. Give me ideas. I want ideas. I enjoy coming up with stuff, and I enjoy thinking of stuff, and when I run shows, I usually get ideas. Oh, what's up, Jacob? What's up, Dave? Donald Calgar, the man, the myth, the slam dancer. How you doing, brother? But my pea brain can only come up with so much. And I also want to make it more interactive in the sense of, hit me up and be like, hey, what about this? Or, hey, this happened at a show. Or, maybe you should bring this up. Or, why the hell is this? Cuss me out. I don't care. I want some content. I want something that you all want to listen to, and something that is interesting to you just the same. I've been doing audio so blasted long as before I even had my license. It's what I do. It's what I eat, sleep, and breathe. It's for anybody that doesn't know, I went to college and got my engineering degree, bachelor's in electronics, and did that for many years. But I got the degree because of my love for audio and 12-volt electrical and knowledge of things like that. For me, strengthens my mind so that, okay, I know about this. So what's up, Mark? Maybe learn some more about that, or maybe go there for this. Now, everything's worked out, and I'm just as happy as a pig and all that for the past 5, 6, 7 years, somewhere around that, I haven't worked a 9-to-5 job. I've been doing the ACCL. I've been doing, back in the days, the ISPLL. I've been taking care of my daughter while Melissa goes and works on her career. And this is working out so good because the company's expanding. For anybody that doesn't know, we've got Florida Judge, we've got Georgia judge, we've got Carolina's judge, we've got Michigan, and they're not just like for Florida. I'm from Georgia South because Florida is such a big state, but you've got Crystal and Kenny that are the Carolina judge. So they do North Carolina, South Carolina, maybe a little bit, whatever's around, whatever. So we're spreading out the best you can. Are you in an area that doesn't have a judge? Or do you know of an area that doesn't have a judge or something like that? Hit me up if you know somebody that does. What's up, Daniel? Hit me up. I'm always looking for judges. I'm always looking for expansion. I'm always looking to help people get paid to do their hobby, if you will. And it helps for me, myself, and for my judges that, Florida judges for sure. I know it's helped them expand. It's helped them get better ideas on bills and stuff like that. So there's definite positive coming from it if you want to be a judge. If not, come hang out under the canopy. I'm usually sitting there chilling out, and you can learn all you can. What's up, Garrick? Steve, how you doing, brother? So I'm rambling on here. Let's see here. Made of Steel. I had an idea for Made of Steel. For one, I've been talking to Michael James, and anybody that doesn't know him, he is the owner, CEO, head secretary, grand poobah of U.S. Amps Incorporated. He has he bought the company. He bought all their rights and everything of the sorts on it, and they're in the process of reviewing all of the different amplifiers and finding, all right, this one right here is perfect like this one here needs work on it, what do we do with this, let's eliminate that, and they're rebuilding the company. They are one of the bigger sponsors of all my shows, and they're always behind me 100%. I'm not just talking good about them because of that. They are releasing some excellent products. Brennan Gardner and myself and a couple other people have been testing them. Brennan has them in his car, and anybody that knows his car knows that car is tank. That car is just a beast altogether. His electrical's up to par. The car is sealed, completely solid. I was watching a video earlier. He's on TikTok as All About the Wind is his name, or you can look it up under Brennan Gardner. But I was watching it. It reminded me of when he got the Sony Explodes and had them in his car, and he cracked a 50 with two Sony Explodes. And that's what he likes doing. So working with US Amps, when you check them out online, last Thursday during our little private local meet that we hold here, he had two of the 50 HCs in there, one on each sub. And for anybody that doesn't know, those are AB amps, and those things were just knocking the blocks down. It's a different kind of sound, but what we do, or what I say is what we do, what he does more than anything is he tests them and pushes them to their limits and gives them real world testing. And we hook up to my meter and I get it real world results. We don't, what's up, Cody? What we don't do is like the old school way, was hook it up to a meter and go, man, and go, oh, hey, look at that, I did 5,000 watts, it's a 200 watt amp, let's sell it. No, we legitimately hook it up in real life situations. Michael James is very adamant on that. He is wanting a competition vehicle, a sound quality vehicle. He's wanting a daily driver. He's wanting his equipment to be everything it can be in any situation. So what's up, Daniel? Travis, what's happening, brother? Oh, and here's the man right now, Mr. Brendan Gardner. I was telling them, Brandon, about working how your system right now with the 50 HCs. You have the AB amps that you're cracking mid 50s on with no problems, and pretty much giving everybody the heads up here about how you're part of the R&D and the test department for real life scenarios and real life situations to do with the equipment. So I'm rambling on about that right now, but it stirred my mind because I'm sitting looking at my note sheet of different things my little squirrel brain wanted to remember, and with that, talking with Michael, and I've still got to work out the logistics on how we're going to do it, but he is wanting to donate equipment to give away, not to raffle, to give away at Made of Steel. And the stipulation that we're going to look at is for a beginner bass head. And that doesn't mean that you're 38 years old and you just decided to start building or anything like that. We're talking like the guys that are 16, 17 years old. They just bought an $800 Toyota. They're scraping pennies on how to do this. So trying to help people like that and trying to get out there and trying to get going. But I also had another idea during the process of this. Is something I may want to start bringing up to the shows, and I don't know how people are going to react to it because we've tried this before. John Kent and I want to say for Slammin' with Swain, if I'm not mistaken, but I get my shows mixed up. We had a idea, or I say we. John had the idea of having a battle and with cash payout, and 2 people signed up for it. The cash payout was going to be hundreds of dollars. So, what's up, Brian? 2 people signed up for something that they could win hundreds of dollars out. I can't remember if it was like 500 or 1,000, but only 2 people showed interest in it. We pushed it and we told people about it and everything of the sorts. So, all right. But now I'm thinking about, what about like a battle? And this is me thinking now, because now it's got me ticking. It's got me something to work on. What about a battle where you have a mic placed right here, right in the middle, have a car on this side, have a car on that side of the drive side windows, obviously, 3 foot from the mic in each direction, and have a sound off that way, and then have like a $10 buy-in or a $15 buy-in or 20, however much cash buy-in, and the winner takes the pot. Or have it where we would start it at the beginning of the day, and at the end of the day have like bracket battles or something like that. I'm trying to get people involved. I'm not saying like we're scraping the bottom of the barrel and we only have 2 or 3 members or anything like that. We have got lots of people that come in on it, but I'm always looking to expand. I'm always looking to build up to the next level of what is wanted, what is needed. And I think something like that would be pretty cool, because then you could have the guys that, I know Brandon's build. Hey, what's up, George? Brandon, George, Brennan, all those guys have got wind monsters that, you could stand 4 or 5 feet away from that vehicle, it'd blow your shirt off. And, that's kind of what a lot of people are building for. I got that. I respect that. My freaking, the Nissan Pathfinder and the Suburban had the Orions in there. Anybody that knew those builds, hell, the Pathfinder, I went through 6 doors, and on the Burb, I'm on my 4th set. So I know about building stuff that goes on. The Burb was stable down to 14 hertz. But how could you gain something from that? Because I'd never entered the meter. What the hell am I going to enter the meter for? That was a demo truck. It did high 50s at like low 20s for the frequency. Whoop-de-doo. Okay. But if I could have brought it up to a meter and won a couple dollars off something just showboating, something like that. See if you guys can come up with something, or message me or pick my brain, because I'm wanting to release something like this out, like maybe even Made of Steel, we could do something and have it. Like, the idea, like I was thinking, was starting off at a $5 buy-in. You come up and you go, vehicle, and whoever's the loudest. Guy first goes, he does a 155. Guy second goes a 156. Now the first guy has the option to redo. All right, he can redo. If he does not break that 56, then bye-bye. And then we mark this person in as the winner, and then the next guy rolls up, or however we want to do it. At the end of the day, I think that, anybody could spare $5 out of their pocket, especially if it could turn into 100 for you, or we can have a bigger buy-in. I don't know. This is stuff that I'm talking about, because I want people to come up with ideas, and I want people to come up with no restrictions. Let's see what we can come up with that will make something awesome, that would make everybody happy. Because that is the other problem. You've got Walt Johnson that's got just insane builds, and you have got Charles Jr. Crazy builds. Okay, well, if either of them come up on the mic, Charles is doing 70s, so now it's going to eliminate like everybody out. So, hey, what's up, Pip? That's going to eliminate everybody out. So maybe make something that makes the playing table a little more even. I don't know. These are all just ideas. The 5 formats that we have are doing quite well. We have multiple entries in each of them. There isn't really a dead one anymore. When I was with the other org, we had to, look and evaluate. And when I ended up taking it over, I ended up eliminating stuff because nobody did it. Nobody cared about it. So what's the use of having it where 2 people enter into it all year and yay, they're first and second place? Whoop-de-doo. So that's not, So once I fine-tuned all that and got that all out, and then started ACCL and started our own thing here that's based off of what I want to do, with the knowledge of the persons in which I resourced out to, that's great. Okay, that's awesome. So now it's time to build up off of that. We've got this mastered. Now we need to go up off that. What's up, Dave? Okay, so I said I wasn't going to ramble on this one, but I am, and I'm sorry about that. But you know what? If it's profitable, if it does something, here's to you. Now take a drink. I'm starting to get freaking cotton mouth. So, for anybody that hasn't seen, oh wait, hold on. For anybody that hasn't seen, Troubled Dimensions. Trying to think who else. Oh yeah, Troubled Dimensions Fabrications. Teams Ain't Loud, Team Megahertz, US Amps, Creative Car Audio. Here's the award for Made of Steel. It's beautiful, freaking awesome. I love it. I love the color. I love that we're sticking with the shape. My whole idea with that is that every show is going to have this, unless of course the host wants something different. I always give the host the options, but every show is going to have this, and towards the end, excuse me, they will click together. They go just like puzzle pieces. And I figure if we're going to do the Plexi Awards, in which I do the Plexi Awards because, let's be real, everybody has a crap load of bowling trophies, and we don't want to spend a crap load of money on these awards because we give out the bomb diggity rings for finals. So, Made of Steel. There it is. I hope you're coming to get one. Hope you're telling everybody about it, because I don't want to take these things home. And they're awesome. They're beyond awesome. This is a conglomeration, like I said, of all of us on there, and then there's others that are in the sponsors group that help with this and come up with this. They just, for Made of Steel, didn't want to put in for this one. That's fine. You know, they hold back for another or whatever they do. So, yeah, seasonal awards will be the same shape, just like regular. So, that's awesome. I think it's awesome. I want one. So I may enter in my own class and see if I can win something. Who knows? All right. So let's see. I talked about that. The Made of Steel, the money battle. The US Amps. I don't know how we're going to do that, but I believe what I'm projecting is for it to be somebody under 18, somebody starting with a vehicle, to rehash on that, because I know it'll squirrel out, I don't know what we're going to have as a determining factor situation, but think about that. Maybe if you know, one of your kids or something like that are getting into it, whatever, keep that in mind. Stay tuned, because we're going to come up, when I come up with it, I will most likely announce it over this, along with spamming the living hell out of everywhere with my my posts and, you know, things like that. So, all right, so that's enough rambling about stuff for right now. Like I said, I wanted to keep this somewhat quick, but we'll see how it goes here. Vehicle wires for the audio system. I've seen, I know I talked about this on one of the other videos a little bit when I scrolled around, but the vehicle wires, and I'm not just talking specifically about PowerWire or specifically about this, or all of them in general. And I know the co-judges can back me on this because they see it a heck of a lot more than I do, but the types of wiring that we see coming to lanes, it makes me question, it makes me scratch my head. Why did you choose this wire over that wire? Why are you using, you know, if you've got double inputs or triple inputs on an amplifier or something like that, and you run triples from a battery, but from your alternator to your battery, you only have one 0 gauge. You know, what's the determining factors on stuff like that? Speaker wire is the one that always gets me, because, let me think, I'm trying to think about, at the Thursday meet, so it stirred me up. And it's not stirred me up in a bad way, but it's just like, got two nice subwoofers, got, you know, something like, you know, Sundown X's or something like that. You've got, you know, two JP45s or something like that. And you're running 1 0 gauge to the tail, and you've got 16 gauge power wire or 18 gauge power wire. For people that don't know, I know everybody in here does, but I still got to ramble on about this stuff. For people that don't know, one of my instructors found the way to get everybody to click and connect with the concept. He said, figure it like a piece of plumbing pipe. He said, if you're running a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, big kitchen house, all that good stuff, you're not going to run, you know, a 1/4-inch pipe in for your main water source. You know, you want to have a decent size. You want to make it so that your house isn't, if you turn the kitchen sink on, then you lose pressure in the rest of the house. You know, you don't want something like that. You want everything pretty much evenly fed. And that's the same concept with electrical. Electrical, if you're, you know, if you got 245s back there, you need more than one run of zero gauge. There are ratings on the wire. I told myself I was going to get all the research on this over the week, but, you know, with the holiday and all that other excuse, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But use self-judgment on that. Ask friends, ask people, do research, do things like that. Just get the idea and the concept of it. What happens is if you're running too low gauge wire, before anybody corrects me on this, I know there's different scenarios, I know there's different situations. I'm team no fuse and all that other crap. I'm talking about just basic generic talk here. When you run a low gauge wire, that tunnels whatever you are feeding to it, and whatever is feeding off of it has to work harder. Okay? So think of it like a pool pump. A pool pump has it's probably about like that big around. So I'm going to say a 2-inch piping, just say for 1 7/8, whatever the hell it is. 2-inch piping going from the skimmer to the pump, and then from the pump to the return. 2-inch pipe. Okay, take a chunk of that out and put a 1/4-inch pipe in there. Okay, it's either going to back everything up if you put it on the output side, or it's going to choke the pump from being able to pull in what it needs to, which is going to overwork the pump, which is then going to cause it to draw more current, which is then going to cause it to overheat and cause stress to the circuitry. That's electrical. There's no other way around it. There's really is, I'm sure there is, but to the best of my knowledge, and please somebody correct me on this, there isn't too much. You're not going to run 8 runs of zero gauge and say, oh my God, now my amps can't get enough, or whatever, you know, my alternators can't. No. You could run, you always run more grounds than hots, or, you know, at least match them up very good, but I usually try to run more because you want everything to be able to dump as fast and as easy as it can to pull from the source. But with the wiring, you always want, I always say, the first thing to start off with your vehicle is to create a good power source. Once you create the power source, then create the good highway to get to this stuff. Get yourself a good alternator, get yourself a good battery bank, get yourself a good wire. Without those three, your equipment will then be compromised and not able to do what it needs to do. At that point, you cause stress onto your system. You cause, who the heck knows where the stress is going to be. More times than not, it's on the amplifier, but it could be the amplifier starts clipping out because it can't get what it needs, so then it sends it to your subs. Or it sends it to your mids, and your mids start zapping. You know, there's 100 different ways it could be that's going to do. But the thing is if you feed your equipment good, get a good alternator, get a good battery bank to reserve it, get a good size wire or wire bundle, whatever you're going to use, and everything goes to it. That way your amps can run nice and clean and cold, which is then going to make it so you can tune them right, which is going to make them so that your subs are happy as can be, because you're also running the appropriate gauge speaker wire. I run, for my speakers, is it, 8 gauge from the amp to the speakers, and that's perfect. That's great. Before, when I was running the 23s, I was putting a little bit over 5K to each sub, and that was perfect. That was great. The terminals fit in perfect with it, with the amplifier, fit in perfect with the speaker. Everybody was happy. Did I run 16 gauge? Hell no. If that's all that I had, then I would hop in my other vehicle. I would go down to ABC and say, Harry, what's up, brother? And that guy would hook me up. And I go back to my house and hook it up. That's what you got to do. You don't, if you get up flat on the side of the road, you're not going to hop in your vehicle and be like, oh, it'll still drive. There's rubber around the wheel. You know, there's no sense in over pushing your system when you've got very good amplifiers, you got very good subs, you got very good, but you want to choke it in the middle. That's the one thing, the cheapest thing that you can upgrade, you want to compromise on, really. If you don't think it's the cheapest, then you're not searching the right place. I know there's speaker wire, power wire out there for $7, $8 a foot or whatever. Okay, well, get welding wire. Well, I've heard this myth about this and myth about. Then do your research. Talk to people that have it. before you start jumping to the I can't. There's always a resource out there. You know, on that note, put a post up. Hey, I got to this point in my install. I'm missing this. Who could hook me up? Post it online. You would be surprised how many people will be like, yeah, you know, I got 10 foot of it sitting over here for my build, or, you know, whatever of that nature. Do everything you have got to do not to compromise. When you compromise, then your system, your numbers, your everything will fall apart. With the power source, you know, I myself have found that lithium works the best, as has everyone else. I enjoy CMAX. Why do I like CMAX? Because I like charging high voltage, just the way I am. I'm weird like that. I've heard a lot of people talking about the still run the Yingling, and I've heard what the blaze is the new one that's it's not new, it's new to me. There's a new battery bank source out there that Aaron was running from Area 51. That's great. That's awesome. Know your system. Know your electrical. Know everything that needs to be on it. I've got adjustable alts, so I've got them sitting at 15.5 because that's where my CMAX are always the happiest at. My equipment is happiest at 15.5 because it claps out at 16 volts. So there you go. I've got the wire to feed it. I've got the alternators to feed it. I've got the battery bank. I've got the speaker wire. Everything runs great. You know what gets hot in my system? Nothing at all. My amps, after beating the living bejesus out of them, never got above I think 115 in August. So 115 degrees in the back of a Suburban with no air moving back there. Okay, all right, that's cool. You know how hot my wires were? They weren't. You know, and you're like, oh, wires are hot. Bullshit. Go and check some of these systems that run low wires, run a low gauge on the wire and beating the crap out of their system, demoing for 6 hours on end, and yeah, touch the wires. The wires aren't going to burn you, but you'll damn sure feel a temperature difference, especially if they're running a whole long bundle of, you know, the wrong gauge and such. More on the power wires than the speaker wire, but the speaker wire you'll notice. Yeah, I don't care who you are. If you're running like a 16 gauge, you swap out to an 8 or, you know, 10, somewhere around that, you'll notice a difference. You'll notice your subs, you know, more responsive, or they don't heat up as quick, or something of that nature. There's so much into the little things. What got me started on this originally, would just stirred my mind, is somebody said something effective. Well, I can't do that because it's too expensive. You know, I can't upgrade my system, it's too expensive. Well, okay, yeah, amps are expensive, subs are expensive if you want the big ones, but you can do other stuff. If you're hitting, you know, a 142 or something like that in your car, God, there's so much stuff you can do without even talking about your equipment. You know, starting with your electrical to make sure it's feeding it right, then going to your speaker wire, and then you start going to the other things like, you know, putting more bracing in, or putting more dampener in, or, you know, whatever. Don't know what you're doing? There's always people out there to help. No matter what you're doing, I could pretty much bet there's somebody out there that's either done it, knows a guy's done it, or can show you a video on how to do it. And that's the way the community used to be, a lot more than it is now. And that makes me old me talking, but I can definitely remember, you know, back a good 8-10 years ago at least, where, you know, it was a hell of a lot more active on Florida base heads, and people were, you know, asking questions, and, you know, there wasn't as much bashing and all that good stuff. So, you know, however it is. I've always got my phone on me, and if I don't reply back on a message, it's my business, it's my life. This is what I do. So if I don't reply back, that usually means I'm doing something where you don't want to hear me reply back. I'm either shoveling my beak full of food, or, you know, sleeping, or whatever. But aside from that, those are the only times I'm not on my phone. You know, it annoys the crap out of Melissa, but, you know, she gets over it. So, you know, that's about it for that. Trying to think of what else there is. Like I said, this is going to be short tonight. I want to go inside and go to sleep. So that ham and yummy food is hitting my veins right now. Let's see. All About the Wind, Made of Steel. Yeah, that's looking like about it. Shows that are coming up. I talked about them a little bit to begin with, but let me open this thing up and make sure there isn't anything I'm missing. For Carolinas, for Crystal Armstrong, she is going to be running... No, I'm sorry. Yeah, there we go. On the 19th, that would have been yesterday, so never mind. All right, the 26th is my show, the Virgin Islands. The 26th is also Tune Up for the Season up in Michigan with Johnny Winkle. He and Sean run great shows. They're awesome. They're trying to do more. They're trying to build a following up there, and they're doing great at it. So anybody that has any ideas about throwing a show up there, or is about throwing a show up there, hit them up or hit me up, and I'll let them know, and we'll get some more going up there. They have a location. The location is tried and true. They've held a handful of shows there and had no issues. Had nothing but compliments. So there we go. We're trying to get a lot more, expansion. That's what it's all about right there. So let's see here. That was Tune Up for the Season. Excuse me. On the 3rd of May, Sound Solutions 7.0 is going to be held by Johnny up there as well. Same location. That one right there is a 3X. So anybody's needing points, the one before is a 2X event. Anyone's needing points, that may be a good show to go to. Don't forget that if you're at a show and you're at a big show and you're wanting to double up your points, you can pay the judge to run twice. We'll just take your scores and copy them over. You cannot call the judge 2 days after the show that you didn't go to and say, hey, can I get some points for that show? No bueno. We don't do that. There are exceptions, and there are extreme exceptions. If you got sent out for military, or if you had catastrophic vehicle issues or something of that nature, we do make exceptions. We do. What's up, Ryan? Sorry, brother. I didn't even know you're there. We do make exceptions for that because life happens. And 99.9% of the time, the people that contact me about stuff like that are the people that are at almost every show, and they're strong supporters. So they feel bad about it. Yeah, you're at all the shows. What the heck? The guys that come to one show a year, and then on the second show they come to 6 months later, they say, sorry, buddy, you missed all the shows. I'm sorry. Tell me a sob story and I'll cry right with you. Sorry. But when you go to a show, you can pay to run more than once. So we are good about that. Because I do understand there are people that, have hard work lives or whatever and can only make like 2 or 3 shows a year. You need 12 points to make it to finals. So do it however you got to do it. Same way with the guys up north. They're the same way about it. I've given all the judges free rein on doing that. So let's see here. Yep, so that was Johnny with the 3X Sound Solution 7.0. That's on the 3rd of May. Also on the 3rd of May for my Florida peeps is the Braden and Oy show. Like I've said a bunch of times before, that show is a great show. It's got a good wide selection of vehicles and of music. It's out in the absolute middle. You think you're in the middle of nowhere, and then it says continue 10 more miles, and that's when you're in the exact middle of nowhere, and that's exactly where this place is at. So down in the middle of nowhere, I take like 2.5, 3 hours to get there. I love it. I don't mind it one bit. I may bring the burp this time. I don't know, but for the people that are over on the East Coast, that's definitely a good one to go to for them as well. So hey, what's up, Steve? And there's Sean right now. She is the Miss That Guy base page is the one to follow for her. And there's also Michigan ACCL. There's also the ACCL page, which is the main one. On both of them, whatever shows are being posted, they're posted on both of them. But the ACCL overall is the one that I run, and the ACCL Michigan is the one that Sean runs. So either way, follow the both of them, like them, love them. Post your own vehicles up there. Post to what's happening. What's up, Johnny? It's the other judge from Michigan. Telling all of them about your page, Michigan ACCL. Go on either of those pages and post your rides and show your rides and get some input on it and praise your rides. Or, hey, I've been working on this. Me and my buddy went to a parking lot. I finally broke a 50. Dude, that's awesome. Let us all celebrate with you. Let us all help you. Let us all bash you. Whatever happens, happens. Every man for himself. But no, all joking aside, use them to push and promote and to be happy. That's what it's all about right there. I don't even know why I'm scrolling down, because I know what the next show is after that. That's the Made of Steel show. I'm scrolling down because I'm not really sure what the date was. It is the weekend of the 16th of May. For anybody that wasn't here before, I'm going to rehash over it just real quick. With that show, it is a 2-day show. I made it a 2.5-day show. You're allowed to come in and drop your vehicles off Friday and drop off your campers and drop off everything of that nature. Yes, there is camping there. I am running the lanes Friday night from 5 until 10? 9, 10, somewhere around that time. I'm going to shoot for 10. See how the lanes are like usual. If there's nobody there, I'm not going to waste the fuel. Little insight here. The night runs, if you don't run normally, if you're going to be there and you're just going to be watching, don't compete, because the Friday night runs, it's cooler outside, your equipment's running more efficient more times than not, but then you get the demo to living bejesus out of your system Saturday and Sunday. So that's a hell of a lot better than procrastinating Saturday and doing Saturday late morning, and then not being till 1, 2 o'clock until you can get back over to the demo field because you've been sitting in line all the time, and then you finally got up there, and oh yeah, the guy before you just blew his speakers, and blah 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 blah. So Friday night, that's why I do it then. It's cooler, you get more time to demo out, and it's just awesome all around. Anybody that's coming to the show should make it a 3-day show anyways, because the hotels love you, and but no, it's worth it for the extra half day. And I said that I'm the only one with that. I'm the one that's running the lanes. I haven't heard anything stating that the other orgs are, but nonetheless I am. So for Friday, I will be open lanes at 5 p.m. If not a little bit earlier. I got to see what's going on. But at the latest 5 p.m. and I'll be running them till probably 9, 10 o'clock at night. So come on out. Let's get them done, get them pumped, get them run. That way you also have time to check out the vendors. You got time to go get other demos from other vehicles. There are, thousands of vehicles are going to be there. For anybody that's never been before and thinking about going, Made of Steel is a good mix of everything. What's up, Tim? There's audio out the ass. People will trailer their vehicles in, from many states away just to come to the show. You got that. You got the show vehicles. You've got the guys got switches. You got if I remember correctly, I don't know what they're called, but the big jacked up trucks that are covered in chrome and all that good such. You got those guys out there. There's a lot of stuff to do, and I myself would much prefer getting my run done Friday, and that way I had time Saturday and Sunday to be able to go out there and enjoy it and do all that stuff. Hell, that may be the way I do it. I may get my run out Friday, and then park the burb and let the other judges run the lanes for a little bit, and Melissa and I go walk around. Who knows? The ACCL CEO will be there, my daughter, and she will be competing. She'll be competing in the Honda. For anybody that didn't see her last time at Slam with Swain, she's going for points, and she didn't want to be on my team. So she's on the team of Benjamin. He's ain't loud, but the other team, I can't remember the name of the team right now, but yeah, so she's not on my team. She's on her own, so I'm going for her. I see you there. So, but we're also going to be doing the giving away the equipment to the under 18 to the kid that's starting. So we got to figure out how we're going to do that. Like I said, I'm stuff's going through my head right now. I'm sorry. I'll give more information on that once it's figured out. Once we decide how we're going to do it, or we get some input, and maybe somebody just comes off the wall and says, "Hey, try this." And, oh, that's a genius idea. So stay tuned for that. Let me see. Yeah, lanes from 5 to 10. Friday, gates open at 9, so the lanes will be open at 9. We're shutting them down at 5, not 5:01, 5 sharp. Friday night, they do have the after party show, which is, or the after show party. After show party. It's going to be at the Beef O'Brady's right down the road. On the Made of Steel website, I believe that John Kent mentioned it and gave the address to it. If you're interested in it, either follow everybody over. I don't think it's more than 3 miles away. If it's 3 miles away, it's 3.5 miles. It's literally just right down the road. So it shouldn't be that hard to find, or hit me up or hit someone else up that's going to it. So, and then Sunday, if I remember Saturday, yeah, that's right. Sunday closes early. We open at 9 a.m. because there's no churches around or anything of that nature, but we close the lane sharp at 3 p.m. And anybody that's been before knows that it is a just discombobulated amounts of people there. So it has to be at 3 so we can have plenty of time to do the awards, and then the raffles, and then all the other great stuff that Made of Steel does. What's up, Mike? To get the money to donate. I'm not 100% sure what cause it is, but I bet if you check out Made of Steel's Facebook page or go to their website, all that information will be on there about it. And I just know that every year, it's my second favorite to TDH for the sense of donations and everything of that nature, because it just, so many places donate stuff and it gets raffled off, and so much money is raised for whatever nonprofit they've decided to give it to that year. So shame on me. I don't know. It's not my top of my noggin right now. So let's see here. There is camping available there. Usual pricing to run the lanes could be the usual $30-50 for ACCL. The awards, yeah, that's it for that. So at the end of May 31st, it is going to be the 3rd annual CTB show that's going to be in the Carolinas. Miss Crystal Armstrong is running that one. Not 100% sure any more information on that. And last but not least for May is going to be in Michigan by Johnny and Sean. St. Jude's Charity Show. It's for the kids. That is a 2X event. That is going to be at the same location they have all the other shows, which is great because they've got the lockdown on that location. So it's not really going to be that much of a difference for addresses or anything. And that's about it. I seem to get it done somewhat quick tonight. I know I ranted a bit, probably too much on wire and such, but it just is something that needs to be, people need to grasp the concept of you can't expect your equipment to do its best if it has to fight to get the power it needs to do anything. That's it. That's what it comes down to. So, but that's about it. The ham and all the other good stuff's hit my belly. So I'm thinking I'm going to call it a night, guys. Much love to everybody. Remember me, follow me online. Guy with the Meter, Jason Swain. ACCL is our other page. Follow ACCL for all the shows that are upcoming. If you want to see back numbers or anything of that nature, the leaderboard is up on there to get an idea of where possibly you would rank in a different class. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or etc., so on and so forth, I'm here. I'm alive. I'll answer the phone or I'll reply to a message. If I don't reply to a message, be patient. Wait 5 or 10 minutes. I'm usually doing something. So, with that being said, guys, hope everybody had a great Easter. Hope everybody has a great week, and I will I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be next Sunday or not, because I will be in the Virgin Islands, and I don't know how much it's going to cost for me to stream a video from the Virgin Islands. So that may be a ghosting for a minute. I'll make up for it when I get back. I'll have, I'm sure, lots of stories, lots of things to talk about. So much love to everybody. Hope you have a great night, and I'll catch you next time.